Hi guys, right now with Alex. We're back from the Canadian Music Week since about a week already, though it doesn't really feel like that. It feels like it's been much shorter but much longer at the same time because so much happened since we're back. How was Canadian Music Week for you this year?
It was great. Every time it's it's a new experiences, and this year has been quite emotional, for different reasons. First of all, we've been in the studio for so long now that, it's for me being, so I love to be on stage. So sometimes I feel like I'm in a cage, trapped somewhere, and I want the music to be alive. So sometimes it's just it's challenging, but I was very happy to be back there to play, and it's been it was great just to be on stage and just to the connection with everyone and the great time we had with the people after. So it's all sorts of emotions, so that was a great time. And again, just like when people asked us, oh, what's your expectations, or we're all different in the band, we've got all different way to see life, obviously, but for me I was just like ready to, every moment is a gift, so, and I received so many gifts over there. Let's see, that's how I can, that's how I see things.
It's been quite an emotional one for you also with everything that happened in Japan, and you even thought of canceling the shows after hearing about the earthquake and the tsunami that happened over there.
Yeah, when we got back from the first gig, and I didn't want to. It's funny because everybody wanted to protect us in a way, because when you're on the road, or when you're doing concerts like that, away from home, you're a little bit isolated in away from reality in somehow. And so people told me that, hey, have you heard the news? And I was just like, no. Okay, so we're gonna talk about it tomorrow. Okay, so we were like still in the vibe of, we just had like an amazing meet and greet with everyone. It was very cool to see people, some old friends, from all over the world coming. So it was the emotion of it all was already like very, very high, and we were very happy about it, and we felt great. The gig was just to be back on stage, everything was there. And then suddenly in the morning after, so some people talked to me about this, and then suddenly everybody was pretty much like looking at me like, how is he gonna react? And I wasn't sure about.
How did you learn exactly?
Jeff came to me and just said, well, are you, how are you today? And I said, oh man, it's great. And so I said something, very intense happened in Japan. And I said, oh really, what happened? And so I said, are you okay? Do you want to watch a TV? And so I knew that, Jeff, we're in such a relationship that we're not used to come in, I'm just, how are you? Just like, oh, are you seated? And I just need to talk to you. It's pretty much like, it's a type of relationship when we don't have to actually, it's pretty raw, let's put it that way. So I said, okay. So we opened the TV, and I felt like in a nightmare of some sort, and I was like very confused, but I was pretty much in denial as well. I was speechless and was shaking, and so the guy just turned off the TV, and so my initial reaction was just like, okay, we had like Kosho was there, Momoka, Lissy, Tomoaki, so that was my first thought. I was just like, okay, where are they? I felt like I needed to be with them, or just to talk with them, just to take care of them. And I knew that Kosho was with us, so he wasn't aware of that. So I called everyone, and then after that, basically what Jeff did with me, I did with Kosho. So it was pretty much like an emotion of, I wasn't in denial, but I was not on panic, but in the survival mode in a way. It was really like strange. So I took Kosho aside, talked with him, and then we watched the news again, and we were crying together. It was very intense. So then after that, we talked and said, okay, so, it's time to get organized, because I know that there is probably like a lot of confusion everywhere, a lot of fear, insecurities. Everyone's like, and it's no joke when people are saying, oh, Alex, you're like an adopted son of Japan, and, just like, you're the most French, Canadian, Japanese I know, so I felt like home was, so far away from me at this point. And I was just like, okay, I just want to take a plane and just like get there as fast as, as soon as possible. That was like, everything was moving fast. We needed to get organized. We had like the whole weekend, I had so many interviews scheduled, like photo shoots scheduled, everything. My schedule over there was like very tight. So I had like reporters waiting for me. I had like, I was supposed to go to different TV stations to do interviews for the band and everything. So suddenly, and I had like different business meetings, and suddenly all of this was just like, totally meaningless to me. And so everyone was kind of looking at me. Okay, so what can we do? What should we do? So we just rushed in a Starbucks and just, okay, let's go on the internet and try to organize people and just to get connected. And I because I knew that people needed that, but I knew it because I needed it as much as they did. So talk with Kosho, and I wasn't the impression that maybe we should just like cancel everything altogether, because I wasn't emotionally prepared to go on stage and to perform. I'm giving everything when I'm on stage, and it's impossible for me to fake emotions or to get myself in a position where, in a mindset where, I can, just like get over a thing like that. So I talked with Kosho, and then suddenly we started receiving like messages, how, tonight you need to, to be our voices, and, you guys need to be the sounds that we, it needs to be loud, and everybody needs to jump. And it was like a real celebration of life. And it's funny because it was like if they were rescuing me because I was away, from home. So that's still I'm talking about it and I'm still very emotional about it, but that was very intense. And then from there, it was like, okay, basically it was like if I was back on my feet again and ready to, okay, let's embrace life, hope. That's what we need, and I think that it might sound weird, but after that, it felt like all the songs had a different meaning. We got, and the people then, it was very intense, because even if I had like a crazy schedule and I swapped everything, okay, no photo shoot, no interviews, no TV, no nothing, no radio. I was just like, we swept everything away. And that was obvious to me, but still so many things happened after, we got, live, we broadcasted the show live, and everything took place very, very fast, but in a very pure way.
Because you decided to broadcast the concert you did right after you knew that. Well, it was only a few hours away from the show, actually, and it's really decided that on
the spot, pretty much.
Yeah, on a very moment. Yeah. And why did you decide to do that? And how did people receive that? Japanese people, as it was not only for them, but...
You know what? That's the thing, it could have been so easy to turn that into some kind of a Japanese thing, But, it was really a family thing. It was a family reunion all along because, people wanted to connect with, everybody from the wifey's family in Japan. The family in Japan wanted to connect with the people as well. So it was really an incredible love fest, It might sound a little weird, but that's what it was. And I needed to, since that people asked us to scream for them, but other people wanted us, they came to me to do you have news from this person? Have you been contacted by this person? So it was from all over the world, and it was like a huge, it was like a huge voice, a very loud voice, saying like, hey, we're there, there's still hope. And even sometimes if like just like it's a quiet whisper, in the midst of all the confusion, but still, that voice was enough of a voice, or that whisper was enough of a whisper, to give hope. So that's why I wanted to do that. And I was so thankful that, the whole team, YB, Miriam, and Kim, Matt, everybody was so supportive. And even Kosho came to me and said, well, tonight it's not about desperation, it will be history that, we're going to remember that moment for, the hope that it brought and not the desperation of it all. So that was so amazing. So it turned into a family reunion. And I think that was the most wonderful way to live those emotions, because even on stage it was like very pure rock and roll and intensity, but suddenly it wasn't about about pain anymore, or about recalling some issues that brought us to writing those songs. It was really like something else.
Did you feel like performing them? Because obviously a song is the same one, same notes, same lyrics all the time, but did you feel like performing them this time was different from the other times you did before?
But quite honestly, for us, I mean, even like rehearsals, it's never only same notes, same patterns, same lyrics. I mean, it's every time we're even rehearsing, it could be very harmful to it's so intense, So, but that night, it was just I don't know. It was just different. It was just another same intensity, but it was real, and just another, other colors were extracted from those songs, just like added to the spectrum of emotions that were already in those songs. So that's why it was we were driven also with the people that were there, and so it was the perfect communication with people there living the moment with us, the people at home living the moment all over the world, living. And it wasn't like, oh my God, we need to do that for Japan. It wasn't about that. It was like, we need to do that for all the hopeless people. It could be in Japan, it could be everywhere in the world. But, just to what's strange? It was like if the music was the same, this was the only a reason to get all together. Just like when I knew that, when I heard, or when I saw all those images from Japan, and then my initial reaction was like, okay, where's Kosho? Where's Momoka? Where's Leslie? Where's Tomoaki? And I needed just to, where are they? I needed to. It might sound like strange, but I wanted to have them with me, kind of to protect them, because I love them. And suddenly everything was fragile again. And I think that live, even if it was like probably the loudest and the most intense performances we ever did, but everything was very fragile because it wasn't about rehearsals anymore. Okay, with everything was like on the spot, we never played like songs like 15 minutes, the same song. And the people in the crowd, they were conducting the concert as well. So they didn't want some moments to stop. They wanted this, they needed that moment as much as we did. And so for the people at home. So that was very that was a life-changing experience all over again, and that's the power of music, but that's the power of dying on stage, not to stay there, but actually just to be ready to be born again every time as well. So it's just like to let go in such a positive way. So I don't know, that's how I can say that.
Did it allow you to live music in a different way? Because you say you've touched colors and spectrums you've never touched before in a song. So basically it brought something new to your way of performing and of seeing music, songs that you know by heart as you wrote them.
Yeah. Well, it was definitely other ways to experience intensity, because it's all about that. It's all about, when you're on stage, there's no room for, it's impossible there's no status quo, and that's what I told you, even in rehearsal, sometimes I even throw my mic stand at on Seth's footboard, just to say, man, do you know what you're playing? Do you know exactly what we're talking about right now? There's no such thing with us, with your favorite enemies. There's no such thing as just like a routine type of gig or rehearsal. But that night, yeah, we experienced other feelings, because music is alive, and so are we, and with the people as well. So it was just like an experience, a moment, and when we got back here, the video team were just like working on different editing stuff, and people just watching the concert on the video, and it was still very emotional. All those and all that intensity and that pureness and that, how can I say that? But it was so real that even on a laptop or on a little screen, it was transcending, the actual technology you were using to watch that. So, and then after that, we said, we need to share that. We need to share that with the people. So, but there's always a little distance for me after a moment, that, I don't want to recreate things. So it needs to be it needs to be enough of a moment if you want to, not only to show that to the people, but if you want to share that afterwards, and that was enough of a moment. When I saw that, it was just it was just, and nothing was packaged. So just to hear, all what I was talking about in different sections of the song, adding, just the pure moment, so that was
someone who was in there, someone who didn't live the moment, someone who was in a concert or a live broadcast could live that moment again only by watching the video. Because what you're talking about here is Little Sister performance. Well, at least this one's been released. This one is available for people to watch. Mm-hmm. So for someone who's totally unknown to the concert, to the moment, is going to be able to live that moment again.
At least for 15 minutes. It was so funny.
That's how long the moment lasted.
Well, it's funny because Ben and I were just watching this, and as you know now, we're always pushing each other, and to go deeper in the, you know, in the, not in the intensity, but in what it needs to be, what, you know, what music needs to be, for us at least. And we were just like watching each other and not talking, just like if it was like, if you were witnessing something that we were somehow now spectators, just like witnessing something that was like way bigger than ourselves. So that was, yeah, that was enough of a moment to share that with the people, even if I'm always reluctant, like I said, you know, it's, for me, I love to create those, you know, you gotta be there, I think. Yeah. But it was enough of a moment to, you know, because it's not about, some people will use that as promotional material. But for me, you know, just like it's pure bullshit when you're using music as a commodity and using it as commerce. But when I saw that, it was just like, okay, so we need to do something about this. It was enough of a moment to do a thing that will be meaningful with it. So anyway, so there's a project coming up with this, you know, that we obviously will give away.
Shouldn't be talking about it at the moment either, I guess.
Well, now I'm pretty much talking about whatever I want. You know, that's the beauty of it all.
Right, well, thank you very much for sharing all of this with us.
Is it like our longest like Q&A thing?
Well, I don't know how long it is at this very moment, but I feel like it's been pretty much one of the longest. Yeah, I'm trying to see what time it is, but I can see from here.
Yeah. I'm very sorry for Momoka, who needs to translate everything in Japanese now. Yeah. Yeah. She's yeah. I just want to thank everybody there, you know, all the people in the team. You know, sometimes we might, you know, we don't want to take anyone for granted, you know. And I think that, you know, I know that in Japan people have been very courageous. It's been amazing testimony of, you know, courage and people that were sharing with others. It's so beautiful to see that all those values rising up, you know, out of this tragedy. But I just wanted to also to tell you guys that, you know, having Kosho here and Momoka, it's such a blessing to have them here. And they've been so courageous, so strong, even if they let themselves, you know, live all the emotions, but that was very, very incredible. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's Sean. Hey, how are you? Sean Janaki, everybody.
Good night.
Yeah, he's the album producer. He's a genius. So, yeah. Yes. And you heard it in my Q&A first. Yeah. So Jeff didn't beat me to the punch on this one.
Still revealing secrets all the time. I guess that won't change ever.
Yes. Exactly. So I just wanted to thank Kosho and Momoka, and obviously you guys for watching this and sharing.